here we are, Metal Slug X. So after Metal Slug, they made Metal Slug 2, and Metal Slug 2 lagged really, really badly. So then they made Metal Slug X, and they changed a bunch of stuff, and they kind of fixed the lag. There's still lag. You also get the full set of sluggers, which I traditionally pick at complete random. So we're playing Marco. So this game is a lot wilder in the environment. It's not just all the generic soldiers for the entire game, although it does start out that way. So they did some balance improvements from Slug 1. Slug 1, like, your character is like way too powerful in Slug 1 for that game. This game, you definitely have to use your resources a lot better instead of just going ham on everything and it kind of working out. They also added some new weapons, Enemy Chaser being one of them. Kind of mention those as we see them. Never kind of get a foreshadowing that the Mars people are coming. But again, Slug X is definitely more stringent on when it gives you a slug, but it does give you a slug pretty often. This is also kind of a new enemy type, these formation helicopters. You blow up the red one in front, then the whole formation blows up. And here we are in the first boss, who might look familiar. I'm not sure why. They added this guy back from Slug 1. He wasn't in 2. But Slug X, they decided that this boss from Slug 1 they really liked. And so they brought him back. They gave him the rematch. And they moved what previously was the stage 1 boss to like stage, or not stage 1 boss. That they moved what, or yeah, they moved what previously was a stage 1 boss in this game to another stage. Also, sometimes if that boss is shooting and it'll kill that guy as he's waving his flag. Like he's invincible in the background, but when the stage ends and he starts that flag wave animation, he gets a hitbox. But you can't actually fire. So every once in a while, if the boss is firing right as that happens, you'll you'll kill him. Slug X also features a lot of like hidden point items. Like if you shoot the ground where this guy's digging, you can see I think it's a doll that gives you the 30,000. I'm not going to be going for all the score stuff because I've never really learned where a lot of it is. I'll try and rescue most of the prisoners just for it. But other than that, so here's another new weapon for Slug X. The Iron Lizard, or it might be in Slug 2. I never remember what's actually in Slug 2. But the Iron Lizard functions as like a kind of, it's like a bomb chute. Oh, well, I missed the flame shot. That's not really a big deal. That's a little, actually, it doesn't matter at all. Forgot we get one here. These dog enemies are new for X. They weren't, this stage was in 2, but these dogs were added, and some animations were added. That guy gives fire bombs, which you don't really want. There's a shotgun. Shotgun would work very well on this part too, but Flame Shot improved from Slug 1 a lot. Just, like, this section goes pretty much exactly the same whether you use Flame Shot or Shotgun. But if you use the Shotgun, it creates a whole bunch of exploding bits that just lag the game, and there's no reason to do that. Anyway, these bats, if you get hit by any of the stuff in this stage, pretty much, you get turned into a zombie, which is... A lot of people, or a mummy, not a zombie. The zombie is Metal Slug 3, and a lot of people are familiar with the zombie because the zombie gives you some super powerful stuff. The mummy does not. The mummy is pretty much entirely a power down state. use my bombs pretty aggressively in this stage. I don't really need them for the boss. Now we get one of the new slugs that was added. I don't recall if this was in Slug 2 or not, but this is a Slugnoid. Unlike the Metal Slug, it has 2 Vulcans instead of just the one, but if you take damage, one of them gets blown off. Also, its cannon fires straight down, so it's pretty much custom made for some fights like this, where you're fighting an enemy that's pretty entirely below you. And, that's pretty much how it goes. Don't really need to use too much. I'm gonna get the firebombs here. I don't really want firebombs. They're not a useful weapon. But it does give me 10 extra bombs, and later on in the stage it's going to let me change them back into regular bombs. Actually, first we're going to change it into stone, which we're also not going to use here. And then later on we'll get to change it into actual bombs. Slug 2 or X, I wish I knew the difference between what was in 2 and X, but I haven't played that much of 2 because I don't like it. Oh! That was dangerous. I don't really want this shotgun, but I guess we've got it. There's the firebomb up there. Just need to get those enemies cleared out. This is going to be a little awkward. So I'd like to have the machine gun for these guys, but they're not too tough, so I guess whatever. And these airboats, pretty neat enemy. Are these weird missiles that a lot of times in this game when you kill an enemy that fires projectiles, it's certainly not all of them by any stretch, but a lot of them, if you do that, it'll blow up all of the projectiles they have on screen. If you get that before killing that guy, you get a lot of points instead of almost none. It's a prisoner that has like a 50,000 point item or something. But with how much weird stuff's been happening, I'm kind of cutting some corners on some of the stuff I normally do. And so this part, if you want, you can take this jump really tight, and if you get it like really, really tight to the max length, you'll get 50,000 instead of that. But instead of that 0 that I got. But again, too much weird stuff's been happening. This boss is the stage 1 boss in Metal Slug 2. He's moved to be a mini boss here instead. Now here's our first instance of Drop Shot. Drop Shot's pretty infamous as being the troll bad weapon in the Slug series. But the first time they introduce it here, it's actually a cool and interesting weapon for the section they give it to you in. So it's something they did a really bad job of after this game. Anyway, we got a slug. This is actually a special slug. It moves significantly faster than a regular slug. So there's also a jet there you can take, but I don't want that. It's hard to use in this Flying Taro section. We've got the boss. This boss is programmed, has some interesting design. He has that safe spot underneath him. He also has a safe spot right here when he's crouched down like that. So you can kind of, if you want, you can kind of alternate safe spots, but I'm just going to tank the rest of this because, oh, there he does that. Yeah. Get some interesting technique with the alternating safe spots there.
Mission complete.
He does, that slam does kill you pretty intensely if you do that. Right, so stage 4, we're gonna show off another feature that was added to this Slug games after Slug 1, which is a, we'll call it a power-up. So if you eat too much in this game, you get fat. And being fat has some interesting properties. Mostly not positive. Some are. The big one is that, or the positive is that a lot of your shots are like bigger or do something extra. Some of them get worse, like rockets get notably worse if you have big. But drop shot becomes this just monstrous explosion. You can kind of see we're shooting like Vulcan-style bullets for our heavy machine gun instead of the normal shots. The segment was significantly altered from 2. This whole thing is like a series of boats that just have a bunch of health. It's kind of a dumb segment in 2 in my opinion, and this segment is like still not great, but it's at least like more interesting to me. Another problem with being in big mode is that you throw grenades a lot slower. Alright, we got a diet there. That makes us lose weight. Alright, now I do this segment like a complete idiot. That's bad. They're blocking me super hard. Okay. So you can like slow play this segment and make it really safe. I just charge ahead and hope things work out. That said, they're keeping in front of me, so we're gonna take a time out here and get this chaser. The problem is the chasers get really distracted by all the other crap on screen. So like you really want to hit the UFOs and they chase like buildings and stuff. But we're good. You got Armor Piercer. It's kind of a minor upgrade for your cannon. It's like intended to be presented as really powerful, but it doesn't feel that way. But it does give us 10 more cannon shells, so we get to the boss, which is this giant boat with treads. I always forget, like when you've played this game enough, you just stop thinking about how ridiculous some of these boss designs are, especially the mechanical bosses, but just slap some tank treads on a boat, call it a day. Kind of in an awkward spot here. Usually I hold the screen a lot more. You want to be... There we go.
Great. Mission complete.
Okay. Mission 5 has, very beginning here, we want some luck. We want this to be a laser. Good.
Laser gun.
That can either be a laser or a rocket. The laser is much more useful. Again, and this game's been a little skimpy on the slugs. they give us one here. We're gonna lose it partway through the stage no matter what, unfortunately. But some prisoners hidden in that sign, I guess. Oh crap! So I wanted to grab those as bombs. If you grab bombs when you're in the slug, they become cannon shells. But we don't really need cannon shells. I guess we can spam them for this part and make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Whoa! Let me see that. Grab that before it vanishes.
Oh.
So there's a guy hidden here. It's pretty hard to get him if you don't have a slug.
Thank you. Okay.
We're gonna lose our slug no matter what here, so we're just gonna blow it up. Make sure nobody else can have it. This is why we wanted the laser. If we got the rocket, it's kind of useless here. Whereas the laser destroys all these helicopters before they shoot. And we get a big one here.
Laser gun. Thank you. Got that. Thank you. Laser gun.
This segment, they send these subway cars at us, but we get to push them back with our guns. If you don't manage your power-ups here, this segment's kind of annoying, because you have to mash quite a bit with the pistol to kill them. That eventually just kind of wears off in this game when you're not in the slug.
Heavy machine gun. Thank you. Enemy chaser. Thank you. Rocket launcher.
Now we get 3 subway trains in a row. I'm probably gonna have to pistol the second one because I missed my bombs. Yeah, I should do that. So usually this one I like to just throw bombs at. But since I missed the bombs on the slug section, we're gonna push it back with our pistol. Now we get the super grenade, which is a weapon they added that they don't use very much. Either in this segment or really in general in the Slug series. There's just not a lot of places where they give you the... I avoided that food there because I do not want to be big. Okay, well... Oh wait, I would have lost big anyway. Whatever.
Okay.
So now we're in the secret lab. We get these zombies that turn red and then explode. There's a couple ways to do this. There's a safe way, and there's the way that I'm going to do, which is extremely not that. Well, we made it through the zombie section, so that's good. You're kind of intended to like get a slug there and kind of dink around and wait for enemies and stuff, and instead I just go and do that. Because I'm an impatient fool. Now we're to the boss. So again, Slugnoid, kind of a custom designed thing for these types of fights. Although oddly enough, in Slug 2 they gave you just a metal slug here, and it made this fight go significantly easier. Because what you could do is you could save all your grenades, and like Slug 1, there's still the property that if you're in a slug and crouching, you'll throw grenades out of the hatch. And there's not the normal limit on grenade throws. So I'm playing this a little safe. You can jump out and use grenades there and use your resources, but yeah. Alright, so now we're gonna go into the last stage, and the beginning of the last stage is awful. This is one of the most ridiculous segments of the game, and you kind of have to cheese the start of. The way I do this, there's a couple ways to do it, but the way I do it is I cheese the invincibility from starting the mission to get here, and then you sit here and do this. If you let this situation play out and they get to throw those bottle rockets before you get there, it's very difficult to safely progress the screen. Okay, so once again, there's two ways to do this next segment. There's the safe way, and then there's the way I'm going to do it. If you want, you can kind of sit at the beginning of this, get rid of all the enemies, and then you can like wait around, and all these bombs end up getting. You can like wait out the number of them. We should copy that, but that's not exciting. Anyway, we're gonna. Alan's back. We killed him in the first game, but he's fine now. Oh crap! That's really bad. I don't know how to fight him now. So ideally, I wanted him to try and knife me so that I could not have to do this crap. Because I don't really know what happens here with those extra guys around, but it worked out. If he tries to knife you, he dies real fast with iron lizards.
Heavy machine gun. Thank you.
Teddy bear.
Okay.
Some obstacles first. Let this chaser do a little bit of extra work. This segment I have to be a little careful on because sometimes these mortar guys get a shot off that I don't see. And since it's totally above the screen in that situation, it's let's tank these. It's easy to get picked off when you don't see it. Inside the base, these submarines, if you blow up the sandbags, the whole submarine blows up for some reason.
Thank you. Okay.
They've got some really mean enemy placements here. If you sit around, like if you rush it like this, they throw grenades and you just kind of run past them. But whatever. Now we got Mars people. Mars people finally made it to the fight. Kind of in the opposite position I usually like to be, but worked out.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
I'm a little lower on ammo here than I'd like to be, so we're going to be a little aggressive here with our grenades. Usually I'd have enough lasers to kill a couple of those. But they're nice enough. Oh god. They're nice enough to give us these little things to stand on for that fight, which helps tremendously.
Machine gun. Thank you. Rocket launcher.
Gonna wait that out because that's not supposed to be on screen. Alright, now we got a flame shot. Flame shot's still pretty good. I'm not sure how he didn't die there. That's going to be really messy because we lost a lot of resources for the enemy.
Shotgun.
Oh, we lost this entire shotgun too, because I'm not supposed to use this here. Yeah, this is bad. That was like one of the worst places I could have died, of course. So this is going to be a real dicey finish. It's going to depend a lot on whether or not the boss wants to give us power-ups. I'm just really not sure. I guess I was just like a tiny bit too far away, but if I was, I feel like my flame shot should have killed his shot still. So, just a really odd mistake. That's gonna turn into, that's turned into a lot more, obviously. But, we'll see. This boss can just initiate a lot of unsalvageable chaos if he gives certain things. The big thing here is I want him to give me a lot of low health UFOs that don't do this. And then that actually drop power-ups instead of not dropping power-ups like they're doing so far. But yeah, this is the big issue, is he summons these UFOs and they have a tendency to hang out in places that you can't actually shoot them with your pistol.
Rocket launcher.
Well, that was just bad luck. They, like, I don't understand, their patterns are super, super bad sometimes. Yeah, now he's just not getting any drops. That's good. And here's the real problem, is that sometimes he summons these black UFOs instead. He'll summon them guaranteed in Phase 2, but in Phase 1, they're relatively uncommon. Now comes the decision of whether or not I want to try and farm resources for the second phase. The issue being that there's no guarantee you get one. Or any. Guess we won't, we'll just go for it. Yeah, like he can just do this too, where he just doesn't give me patterns that he summons UFOs for me to get power-ups. Ooh. Now I've got the mothership. The fight gets really hectic now because it's going to aggressively summon the black UFOs. It actually only has two things it can do. It can summon the black UFOs. It can shoot a big laser cannon. Now, if we're lucky, this tank will keep firing because the tanks. Oh, yeah, that was a bad decision. I should have just jumped. Because the tank's shell instantly kills the UFOs. But, like, there's just a super amount of luck in this fight if you don't have resources. And even if you do, sometimes they can just do weird stuff. It's hard to deal with. Also, yeah, these soldiers, if they put their shield up, you can jump on it, which is occasionally useful, but more often than not just gets you killed because you don't realize it. Or at least me. Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't. Okay. So once you do enough damage to the boss, it gives you this slug. And if we can get this slug over to the left and get rid of the UFOs, then we've won. Okay, now we're good. So this is now, as long as we don't do something real stupid. The tank cannon is guaranteed to instantly kill these. So we just get to do this. Alright, well, other than that one flame shot, we had pretty good run of it. If we just fired that flame shot a few frames later, I think we would have been fine, but losing 50 bombs is kind of a problem. And then that guy goes all Independence Day on him.
Mission complete.
And then Slug X doesn't have a real ending. It just goes to credits and shows us some various images from development, concept art and stuff, which is pretty cool actually to see. But it's no Slug 1 ending. But anyway, that's all I've got. I think BBH is up next. He's going to be playing more Neo Geo stuff. So, yeah, if you enjoy Neo Geo stuff, then he's got more.